Hello, Frank Peters here. I want to talk to you today about housing in Santa Barbara. We need more housing, all kinds of housing, affordable housing, workforce housing. We need more housing like this apartment complex that's going up on Gutierrez, just a block off State Street, downtown Santa Barbara here. State Street would benefit from more housing. Think of it. Residents will soon come to expect amenities that other neighborhoods take for granted, maybe a hardware store or a pet food store or home furnishings. Easy to imagine those kinds of shops would open, generating greater economic activity. Remember the Montecito mudslides back in 2018? It was January, and those mudslides closed the 101 freeway for 11 days. Police and fire couldn't get here, those that live to the south anyway. Doctors and medical technicians, like your X-ray technician who's going to set your broken bone, those people couldn't get to work. They live down to the south because they can't afford housing. The rent's too high. So building more housing is going to be good for us. Instead, they're on the 101 freeway burning fossil fuels every day, aggravating climate change. So you can see how all this stuff ties together. Housing is something we can deal with and must deal with. Now, Sacramento is doing their part. The California Department of Housing and Community Development, they come up with a number and then allocate it out to the different counties. And the county figures out what Santa Barbara's numbers for more housing units are over the next 8-year period. Guess how many?
Our city got 8,001 units, and this go around, I think there was over 24,000 for the whole county. We got the highest number in the city of Santa Barbara, and that's been fairly consistent. We're a job center. We have good transportation, so we tend to get the higher numbers when it comes to the allocation. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And so then what we do with that number is we have to show that we have the zoning and the capacity to accommodate that many units. So through our process and our sites inventory, we call it, we were able to show that we do have, with our existing zoning and our other qualifications for getting on the list, that we can at least have the capacity for that number of units. So the city isn't, we don't develop housing. We're not responsible for building the units, but we're responsible for making it possible.
Mm-hmm. Next question is, how well did we do on that last go-around? We only built 45% of our allocation. So we're falling behind and the trail is getting steeper. And half of those units that we built last time around were ADUs or granny flats. And of course, we all love those ADUs and keep building them. But how do you count those? One at a time. So we're not going to get to these new, much larger numbers building one-off granny flats. Instead, we need large-scale projects, like this apartment project on Gutierrez, just a block off State Street. Why don't you take a walk down there and check it out? It's pretty impressive. Well, thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you next time on Santa Barbara Cyclist.